here's this, and you don't have to start the video. Okay. Great. Thanks, Teresa. So,
Nathan. And our epoxy.
It's been working pretty good, so.
Okay, gentlemen, this is in the wrong position. According to policy. Okay. And you want to turn it off?
I'm not touching it.
Okay.
Because that could get me in trouble.
All right. Is this on me?
Oh, me?
Huh?
What was it?
Huh? You what?
You want? How do you wanna?
Well, it's not, the recorder doesn't come on until we call the meeting to order, and the audio, or the video has a different position. That's our policy. And they're aware of that.
Oops.
No, I can step out and do that if you want.
What? I mean, I'll.
Push.
What's the name? Out of respect.
Yeah, it's not recording.
Okay, but the video is going to have to be moved.
Yeah, the problem is you keep whispering, And covering your
The
mouth.
video,
and
we have a
issue.
policy though, Teresa,
I
so the
understand.
video has to be there.
It's a policy, it's a non-binding resolution. I've been told to leave the video
Can you
here.
call
It's not
me,
my
Terry?
video recorder.
This is what we were told to do by the Open Public Meeting Act, and to set a policy, and things are supposed to be where they're supposed to be. So that's what we're running over as the attorney for the Open Public Meeting Act.
I will move it if there's any whispering. I'll move it to the front row. Is whispering, covering your mouth, is not in the spirit of the Open Public Meeting Act.
So, you had a need to use that insurance?
No, the only thing I've done is my dental.
So my back injections that I had done, they rejected that. I've got to pay the full bill. They refused to allow me to have more. They have blockaded for the past 2 years my MRI on my neck so we can get surgery done. And I'm thinking maybe we need to find an insurance company that's actually going to do something.
Right.
How do you start the meeting?
I mean, we're paying.
9 o'clock, so.
Okay, it's, Jennifer, you ready?
Yeah,
9 o'clock, June the 11th. We're going to open this meeting. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for this day and for the bounty that you give us. We know that we are here. We are all here specific to a purpose that you have and a plan that you have for us. We thank you for our county. We ask that you would watch over the people that watch over us in the county and in the country. And we thank you for the freedoms that you afford us and the opportunities that we have because of you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Mike?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so do we have any changes or additions?
No changes?
No.
Good. Means we can leave here at 3, right?
It's up to you.
Well, I think there is something on there that Amanda didn't get, she didn't see my notes at 10:15, so minutes should only take a couple of minutes, and at 10:15, Rochelle Rodack's going to come in, and it is for Commissioner, what was that? Commissioner Directed Investments. And she said she only needs 15 minutes. And just to see if you're aware of our investments and what you can choose to do for them.
We actually have investments.
Mm-hmm.
You guys sign off on it all the time, but she's just not sure if you're aware of what you can do with them. So she wants to make sure you understand your options.
So we're running to the 18th for meetings.
I won't be here on the 18th.
I have VSP.
Thinking I won't be here on the 18th. I haven't decided if I'm going to pay for those injections or not.
But they're spending. Go away.
Those are pretty fast, don't it?
I don't know. Some of them I want to keep.
You have to make notes on them, or they got some of the latest numbers.
Yeah, and it's nice to go back real quick and say, oh, no, that's what happened last month. It's kind of why I asked for the cabinet over there, to give us each a whole row. I can get some of my stuff, organize it a little bit
Yeah,
better.
it's on its way.
Goody.
I don't have a big monster pile of stuff. Yeah, if you actually kept everything, you would have tons and tons of stuff.
Correspondence to.
No, John wasn't real happy. Move.
No, we
Union. Yeah,
no. And you know
I
what?
think it's the right thing, honestly.
I think so. I think it should have been done probably before this, but, you know, we struggle and try to do something right and be fair. There's no fairness to it. We want it all, so now you get nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
On
I
top
just
of that,
look at the numbers, I mean, it is what it is. It's- I wish I could do more, I really do.
I don't know where you're gonna do it from.
And how long, you know?
So Jennifer, do we know how in the past we've established the fees? Is that by resolution or by ordinance?
I think it was by resolution. I think that was somewhere in there, but that's what we've done.
It's done by what?
Resolution.
That's what I thought, but I want us to be sure based upon their finding. And the reason I think it's been done by resolution is that I don't recall ever having a hearing about it.
Right.
You don't have to have a hearing, you can just take an action of the board and pass a new resolution, amending the old one or just replacing the old one.
So I took it as, unless it's explicitly required, and outside of that, you have the option. Either way. The recommendation is though, if you've done it a certain way in the past, just keep following that.
I have such a vile feeling towards fees and the arbitration, or the arbitrative management, the directives coming from the state that you have to increase your fees for the benefit of a select group of people. You have to qualify as a homeless in order to get in there. And then the bureaucracy within that new structure, they're going to create a whole new management system. Not for us, because we can't afford it, but
Right.
you get into Seattle, there'll be a whole homeless department now that's funded by the very fees that we pay here within their counties. Those fees do stay in the county.
Well, you gotta have 90% overhead to manage the 10% that actually does the work. Otherwise, we wouldn't be government.
I think it was King County did away with two councilmen. Anyway, they did away with 2 or 3 and saved $13 million. Twice, almost 3 times our budget.
We'll catch up on correspondence on start on the organization for next week. Monday on the 18th, I have this meeting, and then 5 o'clock is VSP public meeting here. 19th, I have 10 to 12, Better Health Together. That's probably in Spokane, but I don't have it written down. And then 5 o'clock is VSP at the Curlew Civic Hall, a public meeting.
It's another,
That's on the 19th
this
too.
one, okay.
And on the 20th, 9 o'clock in Colville is the roadmap meeting for Washington's future. 5 o'clock here in Republic is Planning Commission.
Okay, hang on a second. The 20th in Colville is what?
Is roadmap meeting, Washington future, it's the Ruffle House meeting.
That's a GMA.
Okay, and after that was what?
And then 5 o'clock is the Planning Commission here in Republic. Thursday, there's a 911 advisory committee conference call at 9 in the morning.
And it was that one was for,
That's 911 advisory committee.
advisory.
And Friday, the 22nd at 1 p.m. is the forest plan meeting in Colville. Is it,
The advisory meeting here?
for what?
The 911 advisory?
It's just a conference call.
Conference call, okay.
That's it for me.
And after our meeting on the 18th, we have an adoption schedule.
We're going to have a short day that day.
Yeah, so if we can get out of here by 2, that will help me out. And then the week will be filled up with 6-year plan and recreation with the wireless project that we're working on, and the forest plan meeting on Friday. Probably 100 other things in between.
Stay tuned.
We're at the forestry group meeting on Friday, the 22nd. You guys read all these? Not one confirmation.
Keep saying, oh, there's progress, but
Yeah.
really?
And the progress is all in the benefit of the wolf and the damn bleeding heart liberals, I'll tell you what.
I have a black bear come in about 20 feet of the house, right next to our dog, going crazy.
Shoot.
Shoot at it this time. I usually give the first round.
I don't give them nothing.
And then if they come back,
Probably come get their piece of crap.
but after that, then I mean, we got our cats, chickens, dogs, cats, cows, everything else. So it's a little closer. Like medium size bear. Enough to do some damage. Cougar hanging around again too. So it's
We had ice on the porch this morning. It was 32 and there was ice on the porch.
haven't planted yet. Got it rototilled, I think, for the last time. We've just been so busy.
You know, those weeds grow good though.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I got a field that I worked earlier, and it was just a carpet of green. I went out and had to do her
Do it
again.
again. Oh, if you wait a week, there you go. Do it again.
And some of that grass is pretty tough because it's just still standing up out there even after every mold.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to plant anything this year. I think I'll just focus on keeping it worked up, see if I can get most of it killed off. So Ferry County's population is going to grow again, huh?
Like what, 3 people?
These kind of go together. This is
No, it's saying
redundant.
40, from last year to this year. Gosh. We're showing growth. So all the miners must plan on staying here, huh?
Most of them are gone.
That's what I thought, but
I talked
according to the state, they're gonna grow yet.
Ed, you're not on the agenda.
I know, I remember I talked to you on the phone, you said I could bring in
No,
information.
yeah, I said you could email him.
No, I can't email, your email's messed up. Your email is messed
So-
up.
Amanda said she didn't get anything from you either.
Huh?
Amanda said she received nothing from you either.
From me?
Yeah, emails. She said she didn't get what you sent her either.
Who? Oh,
Amanda.
oh, right, that's what I said, your email here.
Yeah.
This building, Polk County is messed up. I agree. information wanted on the flood damage at Curlew.
There's several on there. Nexus.
What's that?
Might be a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Trying to determine. I mean, it was probably the most frequent that I noticed.
Well, I don't know how you guys feel about it. We're gonna have to do something.
I don't know. That's the tough one is.
Damn, you need a full-time person just to keep up with it.
But it's gotta be in somebody's budget.
Huh?
It's gotta be in somebody's budget.
I understand that. I do know that office is pretty well loaded up over there.
But I don't quite understand it. It's all wrong.
the way, Deadman Creek slid again.
I heard that. I stopped in the Public Works this morning. They got it all tidied up and then they did it again.
And while I haven't seen the papers, I was informed that Jeff Koppel has officially submitted his resignation,
No?
effective July 31st.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think Steve Parker, Steve Kiss, and myself will be trying to get together to see which direction to fly.
Okay.
And hopefully we get together, I think tentatively we're looking at the 20th. Steve Parker wanted to do it at TED meeting just before it, but Steve Kiss is not going to be there.
Okay.
So I told him I could do either one.
Okay.
It's not an easy position to fill,
Mm.
because it too doesn't pay very much. By the standards, anyway.
How does this work with NACO? There's voting, but you don't have to necessarily be there in order to vote. You just have to register. That's what I think about that.
I'm not sure. And the system that they have for that.
Well, it says you have to register, but then it says, there's unclaimed ballots. Somebody else can take out the down here, so it says if you register, you still get to vote. I just wonder if we can do something like with Stevens County, because I think West Coast nobody knows. But then it says your state association.
Yeah, so we could register one of us to be that person, even if we're not there.
Right. Which would, maybe we can, that's the 29th. If we can,
We'll have to figure out what issues that they're working on.
yeah, that might be something we can talk to them about.
I don't
On
know,
the
do we
22nd.
have a designee?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
Because,
I know it's something that we've mentioned before, but I don't know that we have somebody that has gotten involved in it. It's usually pretty far away.
yeah, it becomes a huge expense if you're gonna.
Mhm.
However, you think technology today, remote and do a lot more things than it
Yeah.
used to be on there. It's gonna be a part of what goes on.
Okay, and the votes are cast by state. Well, I'd like to know more about it, or maybe we can get with Stevens County and see how there's Ponderay involved in it.
So, is it Karen?
Yeah, and Karen and myself are over in DC in regards to some stuff with that, so it might be worth tapping into both of them and seeing what the deal is. I wonder if we need to get Public Works in here to talk to them about this criminal car thing. Thank you.
No, probably have more information.
Yeah. Okay, you want to do
I don't see him on
it? Agenda.
any of the lists for.
Jennifer, can you see if we can get Public Works to come in and talk to us about this Curly Pie proposal? I'm not sure how it works with them and their road plan.
I don't even know what it is.
That's an interesting letter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know her or not. Lindsay, she's out of Orient, retired Forest Service employee, does a little bit of ranching, has property up there, works on the fair. She might even be on the school board, I'm not sure.
I mean, there was a lot of references, to the school and the funding. And that's where our state, that's what they do. Affects a lot of people.
Well, I know that the wife and I, as bad as she hates it, we're talking about busting the place up because I can't keep the taxes up. It'll take all my Social Security that I've got coming to keep the property taxes.
Yeah.
And
You're not alone.
huh?
I said you're not alone.
I know.
A lot of families doing the same thing for
Even
necessity.
even with the tax reduction, we got most of it in open space agriculture or open space timber. But every so often, Rachel wants a cotton picking timber plan. I've been pretty fortunate that way, but then you got to prove up on your ag land that you're making enough money to keep it in ag. Even though it's been there 70 years or more. Yeah, I'm to the point, I'm tired of fighting, quite frankly.
I try to thin a few acres every year, to keep moving forward. But it's a tough deal.
Well, it was the logging that kept us going this year and paid the taxes, so I've got a couple more of those coming. And I think I've got a structure, I broke out enough right now that each one of my kids will have their own place there. And they've agreed to pay rent. But when I'm gone, I'm not sure what happens to them. So.
So there was something else I wanted to chat with you about. Let's see. Here, I'm going to put it. So here's the prosecutor's office here. So the way the parcel is right here, there's kind of this old wall that comes through here. I think they water this. It's kind of a weird, jagged looking thing. But the thought was to maybe remove part of the sidewalk here, put some eco blocks, and then build this up to level it and create parking. Because we are, parking is terrible, especially on court day when they're having to park down 2 blocks. It's just, and maybe some of the vehicles search and rescue or stuff, even the weed.
You
or
already
stuff.
got, you already got 3 vehicles right there.
I don't know, just out of,
Down here.
yeah,
Those are the big trailers, or were, probably
Yeah.
the time that picture was taken.
so I can,
That
if
wall.
we could shore that up somehow. That's the
Be
natural.
careful with that wall. That wall, I believe, is on the historic list.
Okay. But, you know, even if we come inside, put it a square or however, and then fill it up level and then put gravel on it or something. But there's no way to park, and it's just getting worse and worse.
And you widen out that parking lot down there too. It's fine for little compacts, but it sucks with a goddamn
Well, so it's
full-size.
hard
full
to
size
get a
truck.
old pickup, yeah. You have to do a lot of back and fill.
I had to do a 2-stage back. I parked in the center where those 3 are.
Be able to get back out.
Yeah.
And there was one parked where the other car is, and I had to do about 3 shots at her to get her turned around and get out of there without hitting anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm getting used to that. Every parking lot in Spokane's that way. You can't just whip in.
17-point turn.
Yeah.
So the idea is to kind of just put a plan together, kind of get an idea of what it would cost, and then look at it, see if it's something we want to do or not.
Well, we should have a ecology block, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so, from Penrose. So, I mean, it'd just be a matter of working it with Public Works and trying to, because I'm sure they probably have some rigs they don't use a lot too, that they could park there, especially in the winter, in the rigs that, that you don't use. And that would make plowing and everything else so much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was just kind of going to do a rendition of 3D mapping and just kind of show what it would look like.
So what is it?
This whole thing is kind of sloped.
Oh,
This
okay.
kind of
Very
little
steep
mini wall.
slope.
Yeah, and it slopes down. So your blocks would, probably start like here and go down,
Okay.
come up theoretically, unless you wanted to do this whole area around here or something. I don't know.
So sure you shouldn't shoot for the whole area.
Yeah.
Because if you got a parking lot, you got to put snow off of it somewhere.
You know.
And you're not going to shove it over the bank, so you're going to lose the parking.
And I think, this is rather steep coming down, but you could do the blocks in such a way, I think, that,
Mhm.
What would you do with the runoff?
Yeah. It's going to end up in this
We've
lot.
had some issues with the neighbor down there, running out on our parking lot and
Right.
down over the hill with the neighbor.
I'll have to think that through. With Public Works. I mean, obviously it all runs there
Runs
right
that
now.
way anyway.
Yeah, because it's all sloped that way right now, so it
Except-
actually
well,
helps it
except for the
probably.
curbing. Where the
Right.
curbing is.
Right. So
And this is
actually,
4 steps over here. And you ditch it here to run it all around that way.
that might be an idea too, if you did like a drain on the inside of the eco
Yeah.
blocks and then piped it into a water system or something.
Yeah.
And it would actually help that whole drainage probably in the long run.
Once you bring that back, if you brought it up and sloped it towards the road and collected the water, you could put it into I'm sure there's stormwater drains out there somewhere.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I think just a subtle slope, good. Just, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out a way for more parking, because when you look at,
That's a bunch of fill.
yeah, I mean, it's,
How about to the south of that, or the south or west? West of the current parking lot, there was some property available there.
so Marty's trying to work on something here, which is just outside of here, maybe do some land swap and stuff. And that would take this area right here. We'd have to bring it up again, but it would give us some parking there.
I think that would be beneficial.
So I'm not sure where he's at, but I've gone over, looked at it with him, and we've had some discussion on what he's
We don't,
going to do there.
it's hard to plan for the future when you don't have any money or
Uh,
any area that you can.
Just readily expand.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Build up,
Yeah.
add 2 more stories to the courthouse.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to run that past you, just putting a plan together, whether it goes anywhere or not, but at least it'll show maybe some idea or options.
Where's 911 at right now? Is it in that little sliver or
It's right
in the
here.
big building?
Yeah, it's right there. So I got the sheriff's office and the old trailer, 911, you got your jail.
You know, I always, in my
Public
mind,
Works.
when I envision 911, if I'm looking up there right now, it's to the left of the sheriff's office, and I get to look at your picture. It can't be.
No, no,
So it's the sheriff, 911, then the jail.
right.
Right.
So, but, you know, when people are parking like down in here, you know, here, you know, and then they just everywhere, it just all along here. This is full all the time,
Yeah.
you know, as we drive past.
Well, if
we
they
see that every
vacated
day.
that, if they vacated that street up there and redirected traffic,
Use the whole street.
you'd have the whole street for parking.
Well, they actually fixed this area, as you can see. Right there, they put in some chewed up stuff. Let me go back. Right here. 'Cause that's terrible. Down in there on that street, it's terrible. So it's
Yeah.
fairly smooth, and Tyler's been keeping it somewhat passable. But before, I had to be careful driving with my car. The ice center didn't keep
And right
running.
at the bottom, it used to fill up the water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a whole new dimension carrying a kayak with you.
I don't know, I'm just trying to brainstorm a little bit. Get some more parking.
Like you don't have enough to do.
This is one of my fun things. I get to go fly the little machine, take photos, and use some of the software.
That's what I did this weekend on that tractor. I just went around and around and around and around. And it rained just enough, it wasn't dusty.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, then, the septic, then you had issues over at my dad's place. So it's like, okay, so I'll go out there with the backhoe, dig off the top, and then last night I popped the lids. Yeah. So they were in there because they haven't been touched for 20 plus years. Just put a little bit of pressure with the backhoe bucket and then went over and just tapped it, and they just popped through. It's like, yeah, it's full. There's a reason why I'm having issues.
So who pumps here?
Stocks. He's on the one now. He took it back. Calm him down.
Where's he dump at?
Down here. That's why it's so expensive. It's like $200 to dump. Yeah, their travel time. Yeah, 200. It cost me about $600 last year to do ours.
Over there, if they pump it, they gotta take it all the way up to Arden area somewhere.
Right, where they have that
The field.
outfit.
And you know what? They could blow that out on your field and within a couple of minutes. Bacteria's dead.
That's what they used to do. I remember up on the upper field, 30 years ago.
Pump it out and then plow it under.
Yeah, that fertilizer.
But now we gotta make it hard to live in Wyoming.
When the levee breaks.
And we've got wireless cameras on the building here, right?
Here.
What's the range on those?
It depends. Line of sight, 300 feet, start going through a couple walls, and it narrows it down to 150 feet.
Can you get bigger ones, more powerful?
You can, but a lot of it depends on the quality of antennas and different things like that.
Can you put in boosters in between? Like if you have a camera quite a ways away, get a receiver that sends it on out.
Depends. If you go with the more expensive technology, you don't even have to worry about that. You'll just get the cameras that can.
Well,
But like everything, costs a little bit more. But you can get them to go out for miles if you want. What Daryl's hooked up with our Wi-Fi, like right there. I mean, you can go out 5 miles if you wanted to.
line of sight though.
Yeah, most of it. Not totally, but yeah. I mean, it's the higher megahertz, the 5 gigahertz, and then 2.4 gigahertz, which pretty much line of sight.
I need to put a system in out at the ranch. I had that theft last year. We got more and more exposure.
I thought I did that at home too. I got equipment everywhere, and sometimes I'll leave the keys in. It's like, yeah, I got our cows and barrels of diesel. And Dad's usually around with a shotgun. But that won't be forever.
And even at that, even if you've got pictures of them after they steal your stuff, you got to catch them in the act and shoot them right there, or else they're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Court systems won't do anything, can't do anything. But you only have to lose a couple $1,000 every so often. Don't you
Make it
start
worth it.
thinking about that?
No, that's same with the housing authority. That's why I bought the camera system down there. It's just so many issues in different ways, with things going on, and just it's always nice to have a little bit of security for the people. If something happens, then and that was some of the issue too. Is he said, she said on an incident. And then you say, no, actually, this is what the camera says.
That's what they build systems that will work with your cell phones. I'm guessing what happens is wherever your receiver is, it automatically notifies your cell phone through the either through Bluetooth or through the wireless system. Then they have some of those cameras that go directly to satellite. I think you get up into some real money then. You gotta
Yeah,
pay.
you have to have a monthly account
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
You still have the plaques back there, or did you come and get them?
You gave them to us.
Oh, those are ours. We have these two. See them?
I don't think so.
What's that?
There was a gentleman that donated some plaques to the county and made the suggestion in the 10 Commandments that maybe instead of doing 10 Commandments, do famous quotes that basically said the same thing. We left about 9 or 10 samples here.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you throw those high enough, you can hit yourself in the face.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I'm talented.
Well, there's a pile.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, there's 10 of them.
fact, I've got them on my phone.
Yeah, it would only let me send like 2 at a time.
I know, they're pretty heavy loads.
Yeah. Some would only let me send 1 at a time. It's like, it's the same size as the last one.
I would have used different colors, though.
Yeah, the lighter ones are the easier to read.
Blind eyes, that one's good.
Some of the blue and reds were really, really hard to focus on. Take the small ones.
But it was a nice concept, you know, and some of these cover the subjects, others don't.
Now, he's donated some to Stevens County and the school, some in the Republic School.
I thought it was hard to read.
Yeah, it's the blue. The red's a little easier than the blue, but the blue is the hardest one.
Jennifer, may I see some of those? Do the lighter ones. Thank you.
I like the finish on this one, almost looks like slate.
Yeah, they're just all a bunch of old boards he had, and he just uses old boards.
This looks like the back of a drawer.
Yeah, cabinets and drawers and just.
There was a guy in Spokane who was
Bits
kind
and
of
pieces.
homeless, who didn't have any income, and he started painting pictures. Sort of abstract, some are not. On
Yeah,
it.
see, they're hard to read, aren't they?
Well, I don't have my
But he'd
readers
go around the
on.
dumpsters and find some cardboard.
This is usually where I have to hold the paper if I don't have my readers on.
So, but he was selling them around town for $90, $100. Which I thought was pretty innovative for him.
Thank you.
I didn't like his artwork. The beauty there is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. They had them on display. The reason I saw them, they were on display when Janae was working at his hair salon.
That one was a good color. Good stand. Oh.
Yeah, he donated this to us so we could put them up.
Okay. Yeah, it's hefty. They're still talking about doing a scope.
CNC. Like, is it?
Oh. Okay, so do you want to see any of these? Okay.
So they're still talking about a Socola with your parking. For the roundabout.
Spot where everybody dies.
Yeah, yeah, we got stopped there just recently. We ended up Chicalcan down. I never did see what happened with me.
I don't know, I've seen personally several wrecks there.
Yeah.
Whole families, minivan,
Yeah,
terrible stuff.
yeah. That cash at the bottom of the hill on the top of the hill, that's maybe a mess for trucks.
They have to slow down,
Yeah.
do the things that they have to do to navigate. And everything either.
Just light there would be.
Yeah, it's something different.
Well, people knew how to go to driving the roundabouts would be different.
You got to cut it off already,
Get one of those roundabouts that's like 4 or 5 lanes.
Yeah, we got some out, Idaho, they had some stuff that they were figuring out.
hard to get through nowadays.
No, I like this format.
So I looked at what Marty had done for painting and everything. It looked good to me. The front, it's just a little darker than the rest of the courthouse, but has a good contrast.
Good.
I'm trying to figure out what to call it too. What he painted. Called it the staircase railing abutment. 'Cause it was
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah, that
Couldn't
word
think-
was just not even there.
Like, yeah, there was a strange, what do we call this thing?
So does it matter on page 2 under the minutes, you've got first Davis made a motion to approve the minute notes,
The meeting notes?
meeting notes, and then the second one says Commissioner Blankenship made him approve the minutes.
The meeting notes are from the Tri-County Forest Group.
Oh,
They're the
okay.
meeting notes. They're not actual our minutes. They're,
Right,
it's
okay.
different.
Do we need to clarify that?
Yes, we can. The sorry. County Forest Group meeting notes.
Thank you.
Well, actually, I think the second one's where the problem is, isn't
Well, no, they're two different
it?
things.
Yeah.
Meeting
I think
notes,
you should identify
what,
the
Yeah,
minutes
the
with the
notes are
VOCC minutes, right?
Okay,
Right.
And that would separate that, any question there.
yeah, since we now have different,
And since
That's
they're both
what
under
we-
minutes, it's just a little bit different for the Tri-County Health.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 4th as corrected.
want to second that?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes for Monday, June 4th as corrected. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One of the questions I posed to, I think it was Tanya that did the interviews over at the prosecutor's office, is who pays for the mileage on that?
Also, yeah.
And Katie didn't think anybody would, but it's a court proceeding. Should it not be charged back to the person who requested the interviews, or as part of the court case?
Question asked.
I did ask the case, and we typically don't charge for pay.
Unless you get picked to go on jury duty or something.
On jury duty, but that's, still, if you hadn't showed up, what would happen? That was my whole point.
Yeah,
It's not a function of this Board of Commissioners,
yeah.
and we are not the defendant in that case. The defendant is Ferry County, or the defendant is the individual. The accuser or complainant is Ferry County. I'm not going to squawk about it too loud, but I think if it's part of the court proceeding, it'll be part of the court cost.
Morning.
yours?
It was good, we did get rained out.
Didn't have to figure out $9, did you?
No, it happened later, and then Sunday got loose, but no, I mean, I'm surprised. Normally it waits right for noon and gets you.
Kid plays the saxophone. They had 20 kids in the marching band, and we're taking bets on how much water a saxophone can hold. Glad we did not have to find out.
Well, it did rain a time or two Sunday.
Yeah.
So why did they not do the shuttle? Did they not think it was?
We just haven't had enough use over the years to warrant the cost and time and energy and getting the right people to do
Yeah.
everything, so.
Yeah, I know you're finding a place to park, but it was just kind of surprising.
This is America. We're independent. We want to drive our car.
We can always drive through to make sure you can find, if you can find a place before you go into that.
Could have been too bad. My grandson drove all the way over for it this year. Got up Saturday morning, jumped in his truck, put the key in and started. So he got driving Mom and Dad's Lincoln.
Got up over.
I told him, I said, you know what the problem with your truck is, don't you? He says, F-O-R-D, like the rest of them.
Pops that off, there's a Chevy symbol on there, and he's
Yeah,
good to
put a
go.
bow tie on it, and it'll run just fine. They,
We got snowed on getting firewood yesterday.
You know, on fire.
For a little bit.
It's only June, I mean, what the heck, you know?
I was working the field close to the house, those first few drops, and I just picked up the tool and drove to the house. Went inside and sat for a few minutes and waited till it changed.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't rain much because by afternoon the dirt was dusty.
Mm-hmm.
We got quite a bit of rain around here.
We had thunder, we had hail,
Yeah.
we had pounding rain yesterday. It was crazy at our house.
We got rain after we got home from the woods. But we didn't get it. Just a little bit of snow, a little bit of hail.
So has anybody been to the backyard barbecue over in Kettle
Is
Falls?
that your phone, John?
I don't know, I've heard that noise before.
Changed your ringtone?
I don't know, it does, it just takes on a life of its own.
That's the NSA. Figure out what's going on.
Okay, Miss. What have you got?
I don't have much.
Okay.
I need this signed though. There's new FINRA rules that go through, so through my brokers and stuff, they had to get new signatures on everything because of their rules. This is just saying that I have the authority to use a broker, so I need your signature on it from the executive official. So that's what that one is. Like Diana had to sign it too because she's a recording official, so I think just your title and then that part of it is what I need. And then the other part of it, I don't know if I've gone over these with you guys before, but I brought copies. And I changed the investment statement a little bit. I know you've seen them because you've signed them and returned them. So this first sheet is your statement from me on the funds that you directly invest as the commissioners. So you'll see the current expense, tourism, the conservation fund, and the county capital improvements. And that shows what interest you earned and what you paid residual and investment fees, which is really nothing because you guys, the CE gets the residual fees anyways. So the next page is the instructions for investment. And you'll see on the far left-hand side, it has all 4 of your funds. And then it has how much you have invested, and then it has how much is not invested. And that's where I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, because I know like the conservation fund doesn't get used a lot. There's not a lot of expenses going out of there, so more could be invested. And right now it's making, you'll see at the top of the other one, it said 1.7954%. And that would go directly back into that fund.
For as much as we use in that fund, I think you can invest everything with the 36,000.
Right, but because it's a directed investment, I can't do that.
We have to.
You guys have to do that. And that's why I wanted to explain this one, because there's certain things that I can do, like the residual, and that's, so those uninvested funds are invested, and CE is making some interest
What's it
on
take to get them back out?
nothing, an email.
Yeah, because that's discussions we had before, is how liquid it is. so.
This is all extremely liquid, so it's
Okay.
within a day.
Capital improvement could move almost all of that over. If you, unless you anticipate an expenditure. And I don't
And-
move anything right now that we got planned to do.
Well, we did the roof down south, some electrical. I'm not sure what's on the docket this year. That got moved because they didn't have time to do it in the last budget cycle.
That's right.
Okay, so it's in this one.
Yeah, so
So-
we'll want probably at least 100 grand in there to cover
But that's
something that
still
might
100,000
happen.
you're getting interest off of.
And the other thing to know about this, because you can't really like go in the hole, we don't allow that to happen on the general side of it, and the auditors don't allow that to happen, so like if it ever did like come up that something came through, they would contact probably Jennifer or Amanda, and if they couldn't get a hold of somebody there, they would contact me, and then I would send an email out saying, I moved these funds because of direction of the auditor. So that still counts as a directed investment. I'm not making that decision, but, so they're 100% liquid, and you could be earning more for those funds. For you guys, it's not,
What's the LGIP?
that's a local government investment pool. That's the state-run investment pool. And that's where all the current expense funds basically are held.
What's the percentage on that right now? Is it-
The interest rate right now, that's that
It's all the
1.7954.
same.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where your interest rate comes from. I do have another account that has investment funds in it that's liquid through Washington Federal, but that one's earning about 1.6, so I don't have as much over there. That's just so I can keep more invested in general, keep my checking account balance lower.
Well, it's a lot better than what it was with the
When I came
0.25% or.
When I came into office, it was 0.1%,
Yeah, it's like,
and it wasn't worth doing all of this, and I didn't focus on trying to get more people to invest, because it is invested. Like, it's not just sitting there doing nothing. Everything but $750,000 on a daily basis is invested of county funds. It's just a matter of whether you want the actual funds to make the money or current expense to make the residual interest. And I think it has better effect, because it's not so much to make a big difference in current expense. I think it has a better effect within the individual funds.
yeah, no, I agree.
The largest of those is the current expense fund, but I don't know what is, we roll over, what, 500,000 a month anyway.
This, if you guys start looking at it on a regular basis, understanding what this is, you'll see a better idea. You stay right at about this amount, though. I mean, it seems like every month when I put in these amounts, it's right around the same. So it's about, you have about that much coming in, about that much going out right now. That's going to change too. I mean, this is May's numbers, so there was still a bunch of taxes and stuff coming in. So you could possibly move that. I don't know that you would, because I don't follow that
I
expenditure.
don't think you'd move the tourism.
Tourism, you see.
But I do think you could do 200,000 of the 236 in conservation could go to that and bump that up to 700,000. Because you do have tax revenues coming in annually on that too. We just have never authorized any use of it.
Right.
We budgeted for some expenditure, but that's kind of our ace in the hole.
Right. So, and that can always be moved. You know, I got Public Works just recently to move a bunch of their stuff that they don't have a lot of expenditures out of, that they know exactly when there's an expenditure,
Right.
because there's just no.
And before we move any capital improvement, we need to know what our expenses are going to be. Just so we're not moving it and then pulling it back.
Yeah.
And the idea on that was to slowly start catching up on a few things.
Yeah.
Some of our buildings, heating systems are terrible.
Yeah.
And
And
that ain't much money.
no, it isn't. But we can't drain it either. You know,
No.
if something happens with the courthouse or something.
Right.
So it's, I don't know, it's a tough balance when you don't have the money to spend. So.
So this one I don't need back today. I just wanted to give some more clarification on it because I know it's come back signed, but without activity, and I know it's a relatively new form that I've sent out. So it'll be coming every month. And then you guys basically make your decision and somebody signs it and gets it back to me and then I make the transfer. It says return by the 15th. I don't wait till the 15th to transfer it because you are, you accrue interest on that average daily balance. So,
So at this point, if we can do a little research on a couple of these categories, figure out what we can agree on, and then we'll give you a
yeah, just send it back. That's all that one is. But that's, I just wanted to bring that up just because our interest rates are going up. At a
And then
pretty-
I'll take a motion to put that into effect.
We'll do it when we get ready to send it back.
Yeah, and
You
that's
don't, you
when,
don't need any action from us with regards to the form or anything
No,
until that time?
No, it's just a question.
no, I don't know if it goes in under like your consent agenda or something like that because you're not really spending money, but you are directing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Trying to get that out there. I mean, like I said, my interest rates were terrible and it wasn't worth, you know, at this rate, I don't mind making extra transfers during the month for these funds in different departments and junior districts because when we're in a situation that we don't have a lot of money coming in, every little bit helps, you know.
Anything else?
I don't know, just that form.
Do a motion
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
to appoint you.
Yeah, just need a signature.
So-
Okay, would be good.
I'd like to look at it for a sec, but it's the chairman.
And what it's from is from a broker called Finding Sparks, and they're a person that I use to purchase my long-term investments through. Some of that stuff is kind of silly when they send it through the other way.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
That's for John to sign there.
Yeah. Well, we can make a motion if we want, let's see. So I'll make a motion to appoint the chairman of the Board of Ferry County Commissioners to be appointed to sign for a governmental entity investment account authorization form.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for the chair to sign the government authorization form. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Some of those forms are kind of silly because within government, it's, you know. So I'll have them sign it. I don't know that they'll know the ins and outs of what they're signing.
So you just want the OCC?
I think so. Yeah, I think that would work.
Does that make sense?
Because it says Ferry County underneath it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Title of the executive.
Okay. And then the same thing.
It's kind of chilly out there today.
Then start turning, I think. It's like next week, something else.
It's supposed to be a low of 29 in town tonight. I have to cover up on my plants.
I haven't planted yet, so our garden is just rototilled.
Yeah,
Been holding off.
we have a big yard with no fence in town, so all of my plants are actually in pots on the deck, and they'll probably be all right, but
It's close. You don't
it's
want
too
to-
close. I've already invested too much time in them. So.
Can I have a copy of that?
Yes. You got a copy of the other
Yes.
one, right? And these usually come out at about the same time you see your financial statements, right around the same time.
Appreciate your work on this.
Yeah, I should
I
have
think
brought,
our investment strategies have greatly improved.
yeah, we've earned, I did the math on it, but it's like, and it's not all me because it's the interest rate rising, but from the beginning to now, it's like over 1,000% increase. The first year I came in, we made 11,000. Last year, I believe we made 68,000. So
Makes a big difference.
it's a huge difference. So it's kind of exciting when it's doing it that way. I don't want to experience it when it goes the other way.
What goes up must come down, right?
Kind of. So the Fed's kind of put a hold on raising that, because we're directly affected by whatever that federal interest rate is.
Right.
It's almost immediate, like you can see the 0.25% with the LGIP, and they decided to put a hold on it. So I imagine it's going to settle back down at about 1.75 right now, but that's above my pay scale to really
Analyze on the federal.
analyze market values. So that's why we have brokers. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
You know, it's funny. This letter that I brought in, because I tried to get on the agenda for 6/11, unsuccessful, as there was a problem with your email.
Yeah. Jerry sent it to me. I never received the 2 emails. He tried to send them to Amanda. She didn't receive them either. He said he contacted the public.
Why isn't you get all my emails? You don't suppose the problem could be on his end?
Well, no, he said he went to the Republic, internet, and they said, no, they went through. Problem must be ours. They just don't, maybe there's something that our email is kicking back or.
It's probably just the virus attached, just a small thing like that.
No, he changes his email so often. And
Have you released the just line or?
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wrote these, these out today.
oh, Kate already sent them to me and I already printed them all out.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure, so.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, she sent them.
Yeah, because she didn't bring it, she
The
was not here
letter
Friday.
plus
The article.
the
yeah.
article and the agreement,
The
they're
agreement.
all,
Okay, so I'll have those.
they're all
Okay.
attached. Yes. That's, I've got this packet that's got everything in it as well. And then this is the letter we received, the packet we received from that landowner. And if anybody wants to look at that again, because it was last week.
Oh, you got something from Andrew?
Yeah, she mailed it to him, and that's when they said, well, we need to come talk with you about it.
Yeah. Where are the shred boxes at the courthouse?
Under the stairs?
Under the stairs?
Okay. We have one in here too, which,
Because we're gonna have, I mean, we found boxes that said pitch in 2010, pitch in 2008. And they're still there.
Still
yeah,
there.
and you can
Yeah.
always use this one too, because it takes us forever to fill up ours
Oh.
in this
Well, when
office.
our budget runs out and it's really cold in winter,
Yeah. We use that
roll them,
yeah.
you know, it lasts longer.
Exactly.
This is just an ongoing. So now explain to us what.
Okay. What started is she wanted to buy this piece of property on Little Jim Creek. So she called to ask us what she would be able to do there. Would she be able to build? Is there any, and we get those calls all the time. And I'm happy to let people know, you let us know, whatever. And so I told her, on our end that it was all right, that Little Jim Creek it's a type 4, so it's a 50-foot setback. That would be the only thing that we've seen on there that she would have to really follow. So, but it's on the reservation, so she has to ask. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's fee land, yes.
Okay.
So she would have to get the okay from them or whatever. So they have this map and they call it they mark it whether it's special requirement or whatever. Well, pretty much all fee land is special requirement. So you have to go through them first to get their conditional use, which our conditional use is to ease the rules so that you could use that for just that one conditional use. Well, their conditional use is, okay, now you gotta go 200 feet back from Little Jim Creek, which I don't understand because it's a non-fish bearing runoff stream basically. It's not even full half the year. And then they were gonna make them put a fence the whole way around. We figured it'd be like a mile worth of fence to keep the cows out, which we know here, if you don't want them in your yard, you put it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, you don't have to put one up. That's just to keep them out for your own. And they don't make everybody do that. I mean, the place next to them doesn't have a fence, but they're making them do this fence. And so then when she came in to see me, was going to get her building permit, and I said, well, Pete told me you were going through them. You're going through the tribe. And she said, no, I never said that. Because Pete had called me and said, okay, she's going through us. What I signed off on for Pete was her conditional use. So my part of it, the land use part, I'm fine with. So she comes in, I said, no, we're going through. So she had to fill out a whole other application and everything. So we did what we normally do. I did, I just signed off because I'd already done my land use review. And we sent it over to them to sign off on because that's the way that we handle it, And she sends back a little note saying, as per our agreement, whoever they start with and this and that. And it's like, well, no, they didn't start with you. They went to you because Angie said that they would not tell her what she could do on that property until she filled out an application and paid her $50. I mean, we don't do that. We're, you know what I mean? Because, like, if you don't own the property, we're not going to make, So that's kind of how this is going. So then her and Mike talked on the phone, and Mike said, no, they went through you for land use.